Welcome back to the Ask People series. This is episode 6, and this week I'll be asking everyone how they feel about the world as a whole society. So without further ado, let's hear what they say.
Hi, my name's Adam.
Hi, I'm Anita.
Hi, I'm Campbell.
Hi there, my name is Cameron Gibson.
Hi, I'm Hannes.
Hi, I'm Jamie Stewart.
Hi, my name is Jonathan.
Hi, my name is Maureen.
Hi, I'm Paul Reagan.
Hi, my name is Sophia.
Hey everyone, my name is T-Kid.
So I think 2020 was really eye-opening for that in terms of lowering my expectations. But I think that as a whole, people are still pretty good. Like, it does work out. There's a lot of like selfishness and ignorance that maybe let stuff like fake news, coming elections, and all the rest of it. But like as a whole, I think like people are decent and they want to help each other, so it's probably good overall.
The world as a whole society, my view on that is changing rapidly as I'm getting older. My world view is somewhat deteriorating, but also just, I think I see it as deteriorating because it's just leaving what is departing from the very innocent view that people do like to help each other out of the goodness of their own hearts and stuff. Seeing more of the world and, you know, learning that there's like there's loads of people my age down in, say, London, which is a very different city from where I grew up, but they're brought up very differently. Their default is to not trust people. And that kind of speaks to a larger point that like the world is controlled by like people who want just their benefit. Like the people who are in control shouldn't be in control, and by that I mean the people at the top of government and authority. So I do believe there's a lot of abuse of power and evil in the world. A lot of bad energy has been generated through mindless acts of like violence and stuff. And I think like there's a group of people, there are like people who are committed to not be like that and to counter and balance all of that. So it's just kind of how I'm looking at it at the time, but you have to take the good with the bad. There is a lot of evil, but there is also a lot of people that, you know, are committed to spreading love and the right messages and healing and such. So it's a weird one.
Honestly, I think 2020's been as much of a shit show as it's been quite a good. It's revealed a lot. I think it's shown a lot of people's true color. I think obviously America's gone through everything. It's starting to look a little more blue than red, which is nice. But the UK has done its fair share of badness this year as well. So I think, you know, I would like to think we are starting to pull the wool over, you know, the badness that's always been there, but is now being really talked about, and people are really trying to work on it a bit more. So I would like to think we're in the right direction. A ways to go still, obviously, but yeah.
As a closed system planet, you know, what we do in Britain absolutely affects what's happening in Bangladesh or is happening in the Indian Ocean. It is all connected. When you throw something away, there is no away. That's what we've really learned at the end of the 20th century, beginning of the 21st. And if somebody sneezes in Wuhan or coughs in Wuhan, then be careful in Washington. You know, we are one. But we don't act as one yet. We haven't got to the point where, you know, it's the level of ego and national boundaries and self-defense and yes, all of that just so frustrating and makes you angry. The very arguments about wearing a bloody mask during a pandemic of a deadly virus, and someone goes, "Oh, I'm not going to wear a mask because it impinges my freedom." Oh, sweetheart, just wear the bloody mask because, yeah, you just become a carrier and you pass it from one to another and you don't know who you're carrying it to, etc., etc. So as a whole society, a good idea.
So I grew up between two cultures. And I think that has taught me above anything else that it's impossible to generalize, especially for emotions. I find myself really irritated by sweeping statements, especially, for example, like a certain nationality is really dumb, or people from a certain country do this and I don't understand and that's stupid. And it's not only because these statements are really rooted in xenophobia and racism, but also because they're rooted in sort of this fear of something that's unknown, and it's used as a basis to generalize. So I think the world is a huge place, and I feel that it's full of a lot of different things, some scary, some not so scary. And I really hope that I can see at least some of the nice things in my lifetime.
This is such a broad question. I feel like, I don't know, there's a lot of good in the world, but there's also a lot of bad. So, I don't know, because there's a lot of different societies too. Like, there's a lot of things going on in the world and a lot of cultures as well. That's kind of hard to envision the world as just one society. But if I was to, then I think the world is, I feel like we're going in a direction which is, I don't know, kind of inevitable. I feel like society is like, and people are progressing in a way that humans would, because we're imperfect, so the world is also imperfect. And it's not surprising that there's a lot of things going on in the world because of that, because we're imperfect. And I don't think that like a perfect society or perfect world could ever exist, to be honest. And I think that's okay.
The only word that really comes to mind, actually no, there's quite a few. The first one that came to mind was just divided, and I don't think there's ever been a time when the world wasn't divided, but given all of our access to information on what's going on, whether the world's getting more or less divided, we're finding out more and more about that division. So it makes it seem a lot more immediate and possibly worse than it actually is. But yeah, that's the main thing. It's just all of the division. Just take from the start of this whole lockdown thing, it was division over, what's the right way to go about protecting ourselves. What should and shouldn't the governments be doing? And then it was, division over the Black Lives Matter movement, and what happened with George Floyd. And then after that, there was a period of division over, or division between the movement and the organization of Black Lives Matter, and who stood for what and what that meant. And now, most recently, it's division over the vaccine. People arguing, yeah, it's safe. People arguing, no, you can't trust it. Division over plans to roll out the vaccine, even so it's now on its way, but now we're arguing over how exactly it needs to be delivered. And then, we're recording this, and just a couple of days ago, white supremacists stormed the Capitol building. And there's division over whether or not that was the right thing to do or not, which is insane. Yeah, so that's probably how I'd describe it, divided.
Pessimistic. I don't know. Like the short answer is pessimistic. The long answer is kind of that I think a lot of the sort of assumptions that we have about society just are blatantly false. Like people don't vote rationally. People don't behave economically rationally. People don't generally act rationally. They act in much more emotional or reflexive ways. And I don't think really that society has really accepted that yet. So a lot of these sort of, ideas of trickle-down economics and all these things just don't really hold up. So I don't think the world is inherently shit. I think that the way we designed it and give it structure and form makes it shit. So in that sense, a lot of potential, but currently it's mama hoo hoo. So.
That's a sticky question. I'm like in the middle, obviously. I feel like societies are, especially in the past year, I feel like it's at a place where there's a lot of negativity and just the energy, honestly, truthfully, and honestly, it could be better. I feel like the society needs to improve and be better in so many different ways. I could go on for ages and give a whole rant about it, but yeah, it's quite negative right now, sad as it sounds, but hopefully it'll get better.
As a whole society, right now at this moment, kind of fucked, but we're getting there. Although it was a global pandemic happening this year, but if we look back 12 months ago, I think the world is a much better place than it was socially. People, you can see that people actually care about each other, and not just someone who you see every day, somebody you don't even know. Empathy has been something that's really grown in us the whole year, I think, so I can see. But yeah, slowly we'll get there. I mean, clearly people have the right intentions for what they kind of want from the world and what we have to do for it. People seem to be more willing than they have been before, probably.
I'm very positive about the world. Generally speaking, I think there's loads of good in the world, and I think it's a cool place to be. That being said, I think the past year has kind of shown me that there's been a lot more negative and things, not negative, but things in the world that we need to sort out and fix a little bit than I maybe first thought. But that being said, again, I think it's a great place. I'm very positive about the world as a whole, and I like being here.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and I will post the social media links below if you want to follow us, but most importantly, I hope this gives you an understanding of perhaps how you'd like to answer these questions yourself, and encourage conversation with your close friends and family as well. I hope to see you next time.